Well, there was a potentially dramatic update on the continued fight against dementia this week, a disease about which so little is known, but which is in the top 10 causes of death worldwide, with news that a Duke University research team has figured out a way to stop mice from developing the disease by adjusting the brain's immune system to stop cells from attacking nutrients. Scientists found a way to stop some immune cells from breaking down an amino acid known as arginine by blocking certain enzymes. Mice who underwent the treatment performed better on memory tests, Mark. So this is very exciting. As I said, dementia is one of those diseases of which is so little is known, and there's so little research. And it's one of the few diseases, or I think it's the only disease which is a top 10 cause of death, about which there is no known cure, there is no known preventative, or there's no known real measures to even slow the disease down. And
such a horrible disease with its effects on the family structure, and it's horrible to witness somebody go through that.
Absolutely. The Duke University team, just to go over it, what they did was they showed that immune cells start attacking the nutrients in the brain, and it may very well trigger the disease. And so what they did was, by slowing down the development of these immune cells and arresting the development of that, it actually stops it attacking those nutrients and those proteins in the brain, which they believe is a contributory factor in causing dementia.
So it sounds like a really interesting breakthrough, but how far along are they in terms of practical use with humans?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? And it's a great question. The next step is to conduct further research with mice before they can even think about proceeding to clinical trials. My question, though, in this is, as much as this is exciting, it's also yet another, and I make a sort of full disclosure here, I have a personal vested interest in these types of research and in this type of information because I have a family member who has the disease, and so I always latch onto these types of stories really quickly and with some keenness to see if there is any type of cure. You got to go through it, though, and you realize that almost every week there's a new piece of research. I mean, just last week there was also a piece of research that showed that obese people develop dementia less than people who are healthy or who are people who are underweight, which again, of course, goes against all the, your natural inclination and the natural thought process. So people who, and they don't know why, but they have research to show that people who are just overweight just have a less propensity to develop dementia, to develop Alzheimer's. So as much as this is exciting, I have to take it with a huge grain of salt because I don't know, it's never clear as to where this is going to lead and whether this can actually go down a particular avenue. One of the researchers did say the following, and it does give some cause for hope, but it's tempered. He said the following, this is Matthew Kahn, who said, all of this suggests to us that if you can block this local process of amino acid deprivation, then you can protect the mouse, at least from Alzheimer's disease. So they protect the mouse. We see this study opening the doors to thinking about Alzheimer's in a completely different way to break the stalemate of ideas in Alzheimer's disease. Well, there it is, right there. There's a stalemate of ideas in the disease, and it's heartbreaking when you think of it in those terms, and you think of the numbers. As I said, it is number 6, I think, in terms of worldwide deaths. Heart disease is first, cancer second, and then Alzheimer's is right up there. So it is a significant cause of death. As I said, nothing is known about it. So little, and the cost apparently is projected for this year is going to be $226 billion cost on the economy, rising to 1.1 trillion by 2050. The number of people it's going to affect is going to be something at 135 million people by that stage. So this is a significant problem for which there is no known cure, and about which so little is known. Doing any research online or anywhere is very difficult because you run into a brick wall. They don't really understand the disease, much less do they actually come close to a cure. So things like this are fascinating and interesting, but as I said, I'm hesitant to get too excited.
For the people suffering from it and for their families, it can't happen fast enough. The research breakthroughs can't happen fast enough, but it's encouraging to see that they have something that may be fruitful.
Absolutely, 100%. Please let us know your thoughts. Thanks for being with us here. If you have any comments, questions on dementia, and if you have anything substantive to add to the debate, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for being with us here. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Lib TV.